The restaurant restroom echoed with harsh words that should never have been spoken to anyone, especially not to someone already on the edge of tears. "You're useless. How hard is it to keep a floor clean?" barked Mr. Collins, the manager, his voice bouncing off the tiled walls. Amelia, the young waitress, stood frozen, her trembling hands clutching a cleaning cloth. Her eyes stung, but she didn't dare let the tears fall. She needed this job. She couldn't afford to lose it, not after everything she and her husband had been through. Outside the bathroom, a man in a worn leather jacket paused mid-step. His name was Ethan Cole, a recently returned Navy SEAL who had seen more chaos and cruelty than most could imagine. But nothing could have prepared him for the sound of his wife's muffled sobs, her voice that he hadn't heard break like that since the day he left for deployment. Ethan's heart clenched. He leaned closer, listening. The manager's insults cut deep. "If you can't do this right, maybe you should go back to wherever you came from. We don't need lazy people here." Amelia's quiet apology followed. "I'm sorry, sir. It won't happen again." That was the final straw. Ethan's jaw tightened, and a calm storm brewed behind his eyes. He pushed the door open. The bathroom fell silent. Mr. Collins turned sharply, startled by the tall, broad-shouldered man standing at the entrance. "Sir, this is employees only," he began. But Ethan's stare stopped him cold. His calm, steady voice carried a weight that silenced the air itself. "Is this how you talk to your staff?" he asked. "Is this how you treat people who are working their hearts out for minimum pay?" Amelia's eyes widened. "Ethan, please," she whispered, her voice cracking. But Ethan wasn't there to cause a scene. He was there to stand up for what was right. Mr. Collins scoffed. "Who are you to interfere? She's my employee. I run this place the way I see fit." Ethan took a slow step forward, his gaze unwavering. "You may run this place," he said evenly, "but you don't own the people in it. That woman you just humiliated, she's my wife, and I spent years defending the kind of freedom that protects people from being treated like dirt." The color drained from the manager's face. He stammered, suddenly unsure of his words. The quiet power in Ethan's tone spoke volumes. There was no shouting, no threats, just truth, solid as stone. Amelia finally found her voice. "I didn't tell anyone who you were because I wanted to earn my own respect," she said softly. "But I'm tired, Ethan. I'm tired of pretending that being treated like this is okay." Her words trembled, but they carried strength born from pain. The confrontation rippled through the restaurant like wildfire. The staff peeked from the kitchen, eyes wide. They'd all seen the way Mr. Collins berated his workers, but no one had dared to speak up, until now. Ethan turned toward them and said, "No one should have to endure humiliation to earn a paycheck. Respect is free. It costs nothing to give, but it means everything to someone who's struggling." The next day, things changed. Mr. Collins was called to a meeting with the restaurant's owner, after multiple employees finally spoke out. Ethan's quiet act of courage had sparked something greater, a chain reaction of truth and unity. Amelia was offered a position at another branch with a new manager, one who valued hard work and kindness. The owner even called to apologize personally, admitting he hadn't realized how toxic things had become under Collins's management. For weeks afterward, Ethan and Amelia sat on their porch each evening, watching the sun dip below the horizon. He'd listen as she talked about her day, and she'd listen as he shared the quiet battles he was fighting inside after years of service. Together, they found peace in small victories. The laughter, the warmth, the sense of belonging. But what lingered most was the lesson that day taught them both. Strength doesn't always come from loud defiance or physical power. Sometimes it comes from standing tall when the world tries to crush you, from speaking gently yet firmly when silence feels safer, from choosing dignity over fear. Amelia went on to become a supervisor at the new restaurant, using her experience to protect others from the same pain she once endured. She treated her team with empathy and respect, remembering that every person carries unseen battles. And Ethan, he continued to be her silent protector, not because she needed saving, but because he was proud of the woman she had become. In the end, the story of that day in the bathroom wasn't about revenge. It was about respect, love, and courage. About a woman who found her voice and a man who reminded the world that true strength is not in domination, but in defense of what's right. And as Amelia smiled across the dinner table one evening, she whispered, "You didn't have to fight that day, Ethan." He smiled back, his eyes soft. "No," he said quietly, "because you already won the fight by standing tall." That day became a story not just of a waitress and a soldier, but of every person who's ever been underestimated, undervalued, or unheard. A reminder that dignity cannot be taken away by cruelty. It can only be reclaimed by courage.